I'm going to show you how you can get a free server that you can play with or you can run applications on. Okay, it's going to be a Linux server and you're going to be able to use it for free for 2 months, and after that, if you want to keep it, you just pay $6 a month. So you're going to use my referral link. I'm going to put this link in the description below the video. Just click on that link and that will take you to DigitalOcean and create an account. DigitalOcean is one of the top cloud providers and they have servers. They call them droplets. And what the link does is it will give you $200 credit, but that $200 expires in 2 months. So my recommendation is get a cheap server. Even though you have $200, don't go ahead and get a $100 server, because after the 2 months ends, you're going to pay for that server. So if you get a $6 server, then it is not a big deal even after the 2 months if you want to keep it, unless you do need a bigger server. Okay, so the link is in the description. Click on that link and that will give you a $200 credit, and you can get as many servers as you want until the $200 run out or until the 2 months runs out. Okay, so this is DigitalOcean. Once you log in, you're going to show up in a page like this, but you're not going to have those are my servers. Those are just few of them. I have another project with a lot of servers, and they call them droplets. As you can see, each machine has its own IP address, and I can connect to each one of those, and I run different things. The way I use those is for my students to practice testing. I teach automation, QA automation, and I have samples websites that we practice testing on. I have a Jenkins running. I have a GitLab runner running. So I just get a $6 server and I just install whatever I need on it and I run applications. For example, this website here, this is an e-commerce site that I built for my students that we use to practice automation. We automate this page, basically this website actually. And the way I run that is I have a $6 server and I just install it. I install WordPress on it. Okay, so that's what I want to show you. I want to show you how to get the server, and it's really up to you what you want to do with the server. It's a production ready professional server that is very reliable because just the brand is very reliable. All right, so click on the link and you arrive here after you create an account. You're not going to have anything here, but you are going to have the create option. So we're going to click on create, and there's a lot of things you can create. We're going to create a droplet. It's a cloud server, so we're going to do create droplet, and it will ask you for your region for the server. Just choose whatever is closer to you, and you'll see when you scroll down, if there are no options, then you select another one. I always select San Francisco, and I always find a $6 one. Right now it's showing me $28 a month, but that will go down as I make changes. The data center, again, try different ones. I'll just leave it as is. I'm going to do Ubuntu. I'm going to do the latest version of Ubuntu. I'm going to select basic. And here you can see, depending on what kind of CPU, the prices are really different, right? So I'm going to select on regular, then I'm going to select on $6. Just because you have $200 credit, don't mean you should use bigger servers unless you need a bigger server. For most of the things I do, a small server is good enough. And plus, I want you to get a $6 one, because after the 2 months ends, if you do want to keep the server, then you're just going to pay $6 per month or whatever this is per hour. Okay, if you get a bigger machine, for example $96 a month, once the $200 runs out, then they're not going to tell you to stop the server. You have to go and kill the server. So my recommendation is, even though you have $200, you should still just get a cheap server. That's just my recommendation. Okay, so you select that. Now you can see our total is $6. Keep going. You don't need any additional storage. You don't need backup. For the SSH key, since this is your first time in the cloud or in DigitalOcean, you're not going to have a SSH key. Later on, you should probably set one up because it makes it so much easier to connect to your server. You don't need a password. You just connect to it. But for now, we're going to do a password, and there are some requirements. I'm just going to copy the password I want to use from my notes, and I'm going to type it in. All right, and keep going. Don't select anything else here. And here, just give it a name. I'm going to call it YouTube Demo 2 because I already have one. Maybe I'll call Demo Ubuntu -2. All right, so this is the name of the server. You'll see how it's going to show up, and you're going to do create droplet, and this is going to create the droplet. You're going to see it being created. I just created a bunch of those just preparing for this video, and all those are just the different IP address for each of the machines. That's how we're going to connect. So once this droplets finishes getting created, it will give us the IP address, and we're going to go to the terminal and we're going to connect to it. You can also connect to it from the UI here, from the browser. There's a console. I'll show you that. But what I normally like to do is just open my favorite terminal, which is iTerm, and connect to the machine. And you connect to the machine, and now you have a real machine. You can do whatever you want to do with it. You can install things, run things, and pretty much you have your own computer on the cloud that's accessible from the public. Okay, so now this is a new server. Remember the name I gave it, YouTube Demo Ubuntu 2. That's the server. It's only 1 GB. That's pretty low, but that's good enough for what I need. And 25 GB of disk space. All right, that's the memory and the disk space. So I can copy the IP address by clicking here, or you can click on the actual server name and you get more details about it. Eventually, you even have data on the server here. So we just need the IP address, and we are going to go to the terminal, iTerm. So what is it? SSH. What is a user? Root. You're going to connect as root. That's the only user that's automatically created for you. You can create your own user later. Root at that IP address. You hit enter. You're going to say yes if you want to add this to the record. And it's going to ask you for your password. And I'm going to copy the password from my notes. The password we created when we were creating the machine. And hit enter. Voila, you are inside. If you get a message like this, that means you are inside the container, the droplet. You're actually connected to a remote machine. Right now, all the commands I run here are on that machine, not on my local machine. Okay. Another way to connect is once you click on there, you click on access, and you can click on launch droplet console. This will open a console as well, but I like to use the standalone terminal. You can use VS Code built-in terminal. You can use terminal, iTerm, CMD if you're on a Windows machine, or PowerShell. Anything that has SSH, you can use to connect to it. Here, I'm connected to that machine. Okay, so now I have a machine. You have a machine that you can do anything you want to do with it. It is public and it is free for 2 months. So that's what I have for you on this video. If you have any questions, put them in the comment, and I'll be very happy to answer them. All right.